Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to talk about something incredibly important. The foundation for every healthy and sustainable relationship in our lives, and that is trust. Have you ever felt, in this ever-changing life, that finding someone you can truly trust, rely on, and open up to about your deepest thoughts is something incredibly precious? Like finding a diamond in the desert? And conversely, have you ever experienced disappointment, hurt, or even betrayal when trust is broken? The truth is, trust is the invisible thread that connects us, bringing a sense of security and peace in relationships. But it is also very fragile, needing to be built and nurtured every day, especially when it comes to the women in our lives. Mother, sister, close friends, reliable colleagues, or partner. Identifying and nurturing relationships based on trust is key to happiness. Today, we will together explore signs of trustworthy women, delving into identifying the qualities, behaviors, and conduct that have been proven to build strong trust, specifically for young and middle-aged people in the U.S., in a sincere, insightful, and practical way, so you not only know how to identify trustworthy people, but also how to build relationships based on a solid foundation of trust, bringing peace and happiness to your life. Dear friends, for young and middle-aged people in the U.S., trust is an essential factor in both personal life and career. In romantic relationships, family, friendships, as well as in the workplace, the ability to trust each other determines the success, satisfaction, and sustainability of those relationships. Studies in social psychology and relationships have shown that trust is one of the strongest predictors of marital satisfaction and the longevity of friendships. It is also the foundation for effective collaboration in the workplace. Learning to identify the signs of trustworthiness in women, and in everyone in general, helps you make wiser choices in building relationships, minimize the risk of being hurt by broken trust, and build a strong support network around you. So, what qualities, what behaviors are signs of a trustworthy woman? We will delve into these important characteristics, remembering that trustworthiness is a quality demonstrated through actions and consistency over time. First, consistent words and actions, which is unwavering honesty and transparency. Trust begins with truthfulness. A trustworthy woman is consistently honest in her words and actions, even when it is difficult or uncomfortable. Transparency, sharing information appropriately, helps create clarity and reduces suspicion. Why do honesty and transparency build trust? Because they eliminate uncertainty and unpredictability, which are sources of anxiety in relationships. When you know that the other person always tells the truth, you feel safer opening up and relying on them. Example: she tells you the truth even when it's uncomfortable. That feedback was tough to hear, but I needed it. She is open about her feelings and intentions, within healthy boundaries. She doesn't hide important information. She admits mistakes honestly. Work, family. Being honest in professional dealings. Being transparent about family finances, if applicable. Admitting mistakes to family members. Mechanism: honesty builds a realistic foundation for the relationship, reducing the mental burden of guessing or fearing deception. How to recognize and practice. Pay attention to the consistency between someone's words and actions. Observe how they react when facing difficult truths. At the same time, practice honesty yourself in all interactions, even in the smallest matters. Next, consistency in action. which is consistent reliability and follow-through. Trust is built on consistency. A trustworthy woman does what she says she will do, shows up when she is expected, and can be relied upon over time. Her actions match her words. Why is consistency and following through important? Because they create a sense of security and predictability in the relationship. When you know that the other person always keeps their word, you feel more at ease relying on them and planning the future together. Example: she always calls or texts at the agreed time. She completes tasks she commits to at work or home on time. She is there for you when you need support. Her personality and reactions are relatively stable, within normal emotional fluctuations. Work, family. Consistently meeting deadlines at work. Being a reliable team member. Always being present at important family events. Mechanism. Reliability reduces anxiety and builds confidence in the relationship's stability. How to recognize and practice. Observe whether someone consistently does what they say they will do. Pay attention to the consistency in their behavior over time. At the same time, make reliability a priority quality in your own life. And also, a principled person, which is integrity in action, doing what is right, even when no one is watching. Integrity is the alignment between values, moral principles, and actions. A trustworthy woman acts with integrity, even when it is inconvenient or challenging. She is guided by principles of fairness, ethics, and personal values. Why does integrity build trust? Because it shows she is a person of character, guided by internal values rather than just external pressure or self-interest. You know she will do the right thing because that is her principle. Example: she stands up for what is right even when it is unpopular. She follows ethical guidelines in her work. She treats everyone fairly. She owns her mistakes and tries to make amends. Work, family. Acting ethically in the workplace. Making fair decisions in family matters. Living by personal values even when facing temptation. Mechanism. Integrity builds respect and confidence in her character, suggesting she is guided by a strong moral compass. How to recognize and practice. Observe whether someone's actions align with what they say is important to them. Pay attention to how they react when facing ethical dilemmas. At the same time, reflect on your own core values and commit to living by them. And also, the one who keeps secrets and is a protector, which is fierce loyalty and discretion. Loyalty means being faithful and committed to the relationship or person she cares about. Discretion means keeping confidences and respecting privacy. A trustworthy woman is loyal to those she cares about and can be trusted with sensitive information. Why are loyalty and discretion important for trust? Because they create a sense of safety and protection in the relationship. You know that what you share will be kept private and that she will be by your side when needed. Example: she defends you when you are not there, appropriately and constructively. She keeps secrets you confide in her. She doesn't gossip maliciously about others' private matters. She is committed to the well-being of the relationship. She respects your privacy and the privacy of others. Work, family. Being loyal to her team or organization at work. Keeping client information confidential. Being discreet about family matters. Being a loyal friend. Mechanism. Loyalty and discretion build a psychologically safe space within the relationship, where both feel protected and respected. How to recognize and practice. Share sensitive information gradually and observe how the other person handles it. Pay attention to how they talk about others when they are not present. At the same time, make discretion and loyalty principles in your own behavior. Finally, emotional responsibility, which is emotional responsibility and maturity. A trustworthy woman takes responsibility for her own emotions and reactions, communicates them healthily, and doesn't unfairly blame others. She demonstrates emotional maturity, allowing interactions to proceed predictably and constructively. Why does emotional responsibility build trust? Because it makes interactions in the relationship less chaotic and more predictable. When she can handle her emotions healthily, both partners can resolve conflicts constructively and deepen their connection. Example: she can express anger or frustration calmly without yelling or blaming. She apologizes sincerely when her actions have caused hurt. She seeks to resolve her own issues rather than taking them out on you. She expresses her needs clearly and respectfully. Work, family. Showing emotional maturity when facing stress at work. Handling family conflicts responsibly. Mechanism. Emotional responsibility creates a more stable relationship environment, where both can trust in the other's ability to handle difficult situations. How to recognize and practice. Observe how someone handles conflict, expresses emotions when struggling, and how they take responsibility for their actions. At the same time, learn to take responsibility for your own emotions and communicate them healthily. Fueling your ability to discern and be trustworthy. Nutrition for clarity, consistency, and judgment. Being able to recognize trustworthiness in others and cultivating that quality in yourself requires mental clarity, emotional stability, consistent energy, and good judgment. A healthy diet supports these capacities. Eating for trust. Nourishing your brain and body for reliable connections. Integrating food section. Focus on cognitive function. Energy, mood, stress management. Focusing on nutrient-dense foods can support the cognitive function needed to observe and evaluate behavior accurately, memory and concentration. Provide the stable energy needed for consistent and reliable actions. And help regulate emotions, allowing for clearer communication and better judgment. Omega-3 fatty acids support brain health, improving memory, concentration, and emotional regulation. Very necessary for observing behavioral patterns, remembering past interactions, focusing on evaluating trustworthiness, and maintaining emotional balance to avoid impulsive judgments. Sources: fatty fish, salmon, sardines, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds. Mechanism: build brain cell membranes, influence neurotransmitters related to mood and focus, reduce inflammation in the brain. B vitamins, essential for energy metabolism and nervous system function. Help combat fatigue that can impair judgment and consistency, and support the nervous system health needed for emotional stability and clear thinking. Sources: whole grains, lean protein, eggs, leafy greens. Mechanism: support energy production and nerve function. Protein provides amino acids for neurotransmitter synthesis, affecting mood, focus, and alertness, and supports sustained energy. Consistent energy levels help maintain consistent behavior, a key aspect of reliability. Sources: chicken, fish, beans, lentils, eggs, tofu. Mechanism: building blocks for brain chemicals and sustained energy. Complex carbohydrates provide stable energy for sustained mental engagement and consistent behavior. Avoiding sugar crashes helps maintain an even keel. Sources: whole grains, sweet potatoes, beans. Mechanism: steady glucose supply for the brain and body. Antioxidant-rich foods protect brain cells from stress and inflammation, supporting overall cognitive health and emotional resilience. Very important for making sound judgments about others and maintaining your own integrity. Sources: berries, colorful vegetables. Mechanism: combat oxidative stress. Hydration. Dehydration can impair cognitive function, increase irritability, and reduce energy, all of which hinder good judgment and consistent behavior. Sources: water, herbal tea. How to incorporate simple nutrition for trust. Maintain regular, balanced meals to support consistent energy and mood. Include brain-boosting foods regularly. Avoid relying on unhealthy food or caffeine to manage stress, as this can impair judgment and consistency. Mechanism summary: these nutrients support the brain and body, providing the energy, focus, emotional stability, and mental clarity needed to accurately observe and evaluate trustworthiness in others, and to embody the qualities of trustworthiness, consistency, clear communication, integrity, in yourself. Simple recipe ideas. Focus on trust and clarity. A balanced breakfast with eggs and whole grain toast. A lunch with lean protein and colorful salad. Snacking on a handful of walnuts or a piece of fruit to maintain focus. Including fatty fish in your diet regularly. Drinking enough water throughout the day. Focus on easily accessible, brain, mood-supporting options. Nutritional advice. Warnings. Nutrition supports the capacity for judgment and consistent behavior. It doesn't guarantee good judgment or make an untrustworthy person trustworthy. Consult a doctor or registered dietitian for personalized advice, especially if you have health conditions affecting energy, mood, or cognition, or dietary restrictions. Avoid relying on substances that impair judgment or consistency. Before understanding these signs, perhaps you have felt disappointed, hurt by broken trust, felt cynical, anxious in relationships, felt guarded, feared vulnerability. But as you start to identify and build relationships based on trust, you will feel security, peace of mind, confidence in connections, feel safe to be vulnerable, experience mutual support, and find joy in relationships based on deep trust. An older generation says, losing trust is losing everything, meaning the utmost importance of trust in life and relationships. Our grandparents often taught, choose friends to play with. Choose a place to live. Be careful in choosing people to place your trust in. There is a proverb that says, an upright tree fears no standing death. Living with integrity and honesty will earn you trust from others. Bringing it all together. Identifying trustworthiness in women. Building connections based on trust. Trust is the foundation of every healthy relationship. And identifying the signs of trustworthiness in women is very important for personal and professional relationships in the U.S. By paying attention to honesty and transparency, consistent reliability and follow-through, integrity in action, fierce loyalty and discretion, and emotional responsibility, you are equipping yourself with the tools to build relationships based on a solid foundation of trust. Bringing security, peace, and happiness. Remember that trustworthiness is a quality built over time through consistent actions. It does not appear instantly. Trust is a two-way street. To receive trust, you also need to become trustworthy. Don't hesitate to ask questions and observe others' behavior to assess their trustworthiness. If you have experienced significant trust betrayal and are having difficulty trusting others, do not hesitate to seek help from a therapist. Remember, an older generation says, "One lie loses 1,000 truths." Cherish honesty and build trust every day. Dear friends, identifying and building relationships with trustworthy women is an investment in the happiness and peace of your life. By paying attention to these signs and cultivating trustworthiness in yourself, you are building strong and meaningful connections that will accompany you throughout your journey. Don't hesitate to share a quality you find most important for building trust, or an experience that taught you about the importance of trust, or any questions you have in the comments section below. Our community is here to learn and share together. And if you found this video helpful and want to explore more tips on building healthy relationships, nurturing trust, and improving quality of life, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next videos.